Okay, welcome back to part 2. If you're obviously here because you've enjoyed part 1, but if you stumbled across this video and you haven't seen part 1, then I'll leave the information about part 1 in the description below and the link, so you'll be able to go and watch it. But this is especially the best part of this video because, Gooch, I want to talk to you now about ground level photography, and I've purposefully held this back because it is spectacular, and as they say, you always leave the best to last. What the bloomin' heck is going on here?
Well, we'll go through the photos and then I'll talk about the devices after.
What is going on here? Fantastic.
This is, as I was telling you in the other parts where, the constant ambition is to try and get closer, and you don't want to scare the animal. So it's just trying to get closer and closer and closer, and this is how it's, should I say, emerged into this. Yeah.
So I'm assuming then you've used some kind of remote device and you're not lying there being brave.
I started off trying being brave, and then I decided that it's too risky.
Haven't you ever seen any YouTube videos where you see the lion jumps on the back of the tourist 4x4? Or have you seen those videos?
There was a cheetah called Malaika in Masai Mara, and her expertise, every time she'd see a tourist vehicle, she'd come and she'd climb the back of the tourist vehicle or up there, but it's cause she wanted to get the best view of the area. So she'd use that as a viewpoint. Yeah, but the risk is that slowly by slowly the cheetah got so comfortable, then the cheetah would then go into the car, or one day it fell into the car, then some clever guy decided, let me take a selfie with the cheetah, and then another guy said, oh wait, here cheetah, wear my hat and let me take a selfie with you. The list is, we never stop, we keep moving.
That doesn't work. That just doesn't work on so many levels. That just does not work.
And after that, I think, is where the rule came in, saying if even you see, for guides, if you see the cheetah trying to approach your car, drive off.
Yeah, okay.
Just drive off. We don't want her climbing on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's becoming too risky.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Okay, so we talked about the storytelling with the aerial photography, which, as you know, I'm completely blown away by, because of the different perspective. Now, talk about different perspectives. Ground level photography on your website. There can't be many people in the world that have pictures like these. I have now because I've stolen them all from your website. But
so two of us now. Two of us.
Absolutely, yeah. And I'm claiming them all as my own. So when you see them all appear on my Instagram, they're all going to have my logo on them. No, so on a serious note though, these. I mean, what gave you this idea to? Well, I'll tell you what. Just fill me in, explain to me how all this works, how all this came about.
So it started with the constant ambition to try and get a better shot or get closer, or should I say boredom taking over, saying 400 millimeter, I'm bored of it, 500 millimeter, I'm bored of it, should I say nose hair photography, done, what next? And then the ambition came in to try and get closer and closer, slowly by slowly. But there was a limit to that, because every time you try to get closer, the animals don't want to stay closer. They want to keep that distance away from you. So then became the thought of how we're going to try and break away from that to try and get closer. And the first time I did a trial, I went and I just put down my D850 with the 2470. I just put a little piece of cloth so I could get the right angle, and then just cover it up with, it's called a ghillie suit. It's what when we watch these Navy sniper movies, the sniper wears this suit that looks like grass.
Sure.
So I'd take one of those suits and I'd cover the camera up with it, and then I would release remotely, because as long as I'm there, the animal's never going to come. So I would put this far away, or I'd put the camera set up to where we would think, or we would have a calculated guess of where we started off with rhinos, where we think the rhinos would come. And then we'd go and park far away, hide away, or at least to the distance of where the remote would work initially. and we'd stay far away to try and get this shot. It was such a blow away. I mean, I got shots that I never imagined getting. A couple of them were absolute mess ups. I got the settings wrong, I got the focal lengths wrong, I got everything wrong that you could think of. But the shot that eventually came out was so wow.
Sure.
If I can refer you back to the website, I think the second row down you've got these three rhinos, one forward, one sideways, the last one forward, and you won't believe it because I'd kept a lens cap on to keep the dust away from the front of the lens. When I saw the situation, or I saw the rhinos, I quickly set up the camera, picked off the lens cap, dropped it down, got these shots, and I thought, God, these are going to be the blow-away shots of this trip. Put the camera back into the car once it was done, and the first thing I realized is that my zoom's at 54 or 55 millimeter, whereas I wanted it at 24. And it broke my heart. I went and looked on the viewfinder, and I was blown away again. Yeah, every time you look at that, it's just wow. Yeah, it's just.
So let me talk about the process still, because I'm so interested in the obviously that picture, without stating the obvious, is mind blowing. It's awesome. But let's just talk about the process.
Yeah.
So obviously, I'm guessing you shoot with a Nikon D850.
During those photos, yes, it was a Nikon D850. It was a box standard Nikon wireless remote that would run to maybe about 20 meters away. Yeah, camera covered with a ghillie suit.
Okay.
Yeah, these days I've gone a bit more high tech. Yeah.
Yep. But these I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but these animals weigh quite a bit. And if they were to stand on your D850, well, I suppose if you're a Nikon user and a D850 is better that going than a Canon 1DX, for instance, isn't it?
I remember a photographer talking to me recently that he dropped his a Canon in seawater and it just died, whereas the Nikon dropped and this Nikon's still working, if I believe, or right or wrong. And I believe I know the photographer in question as well. I'm looking at him.
No,
at this
I wonder
time
who
as
that is then. So is there any protection though? Is there any protection around the camera?
Yes, there was, and it was called insurance on this first trip.
I mean, okay, let's talk about settings then, because people must be thinking the same as me. You know, you're obviously not in a position where you could shoot manual. What are you shooting, aperture priority? And how do you focus on the eyes, for instance? Just talk me through your process.
Yeah, this is over time. Let's go to what I'm using currently that works the best. Is I'm going shutter priority. At the moment, I'm using automatic focus. So when the animal comes in or the animal's walking towards the camera, I'm half pressing or I'm pressing and it's constantly trying to refocus. Yes, it does mess up sometimes. Sure. It's the risk I'm willing to take.
It's the nature of the beast, yeah.
Exactly. I've been speaking to a lot of pro photographers and some have suggested going into manual focus and maybe try and pre-plan a lot of your situation and expectation of what you're trying to get. Yes, it's beautiful. The risk I run is that sometimes I know that the animal, the risk you run is even if you release a shutter 5 seconds earlier, the animal hears the shutter and then stops and then decides to walk away. So it never got into the focal point in the first place. Whereas if it didn't come close enough, I went for autofocus, I'd still have another chance of getting a shot that maybe wasn't the best shot. Yeah, and maybe I can try and play with the crop later on, but it's the risk you run. And these days I've moved on to the Z7 on the mirrorless, and the beauty about it is that you could be taking 200 photos and the animal will come so close and still sniff. Even birds don't get afraid of the noise. So I'm really pleased with that electronic shutter release, or even the sound of the electronic shutter. It's enough to get attention,
right?
But it's not high enough to oh my God, what the hell?
So you don't shoot in silent mode then? You don't use the silent mode option?
No. And if you look at some of the shots where you've got this dramatic rhino, looks like it's trying to attack the camera. It's not. It's that first shutter sound and it's like, what the hell was that?
Sure.
Yeah, and it was a nice shot to capture them, but it also feels that maybe I scared the animal, and Zen 7 electronic shutter. It's that level where it's enough to pull attention, but it's not loud enough to scare.
Okay.
So I love it for that reason. Yeah.
Eye-to-eye contact, only you and me again. That's actually here. Nobody else is here. I need to ask you. Obviously, when you lay the camera down, you lay food down as well to attract the animal, eh?
It's not the first time I've been asked that question, but no.
Seriously?
It's seriously, it's all down to learning about your subject, understanding your subject, and then going to get the shots. In the understanding that this subject, I read a book, and one of the books was talking about how they do research on rhinos. And before they try and, you know, they always want to, because of the, should I say, our endangered species, they want to try and grow the rhino population.
Sure.
So there's been a lot of research on rhinos where the initial part was, you know, they captured a rhino from this area, they brought him into another area, they let him out. And the first thing that happened is that the dominant male saw that rhino, there was a straight attack, and the strongest was the survivor, the other one died or was killed fighting with each other. So obviously the question came up saying, how are we going to deal with this problem? And the next issue that, or what they realized is that if you go and take the poo of a rhino and then smear it within the home reach of the dominant guy, he'll come and smell it. And the first time he smells this poo, he's, who the hell is in my area? Yeah, what's going on? And that was stage one. You keep smearing it. Stage two is he comes, he smells, he looks, and you know, until he doesn't get comfortable with that poo, you don't let the new guy out. And unless you now see that there is no reaction from this new guy's poo, is when you let the other guy out. And then, you know, you'll just be like, that's that guy I've been smelling for so many months. Yeah. Quite literally, yeah.
Okay, I have seen a couple of pictures of your gear. Can you disclose any of your gear? Before we get into the pictures, I'm sure guys listening and watching now are desperate for me to show these pictures off, but I'm going to make them hang on because I'm more fascinated about this process. If you don't mind revealing your trade secrets.
Yeah, so here we go. This is a device I made very recently. I'll put it up for the SLR as well. It's based on my own design. It's patented now, or we are just finalizing the patent, and Corona has put a delay. So if you want to copy it, it's your time now.
Have you got any blueprint of it? Can we download a blueprint?
No, nothing. So here's the device. Just a quick look, and it literally holds a wireless receiver, and also I've put in a little drone camera on the tip of it, just down here. So now I can at least get a view of what I'm, or if the subject has come in, because the hardest part always used to be is you've put a camera and then you've gone 50 meters away from it, and then the grass is a bit tall. Where did I put the camera? I've lost it. Guys, anyone see the camera? Oh, guys, you know what's going on? Yeah. And there are instances with the old D50 would click and try and work out where the click's coming from.
So do you have the ability then to move the camera lens left, right, up, down? Nothing. So quite literally, you're using your skill set, you know that that's the path maybe that an animal will take, you'll put it right in the middle, and hopefully you're going to get some inquisitive animal after 5 minutes or after 5 hours.
Usually we try and plan it, or I try and plan it with, if I can see an animal on a path walking, then I'll go far ahead and set up the camera without altering the path. Is the major part, because as soon as you go and park your car on that path, the animal will just alter and go away. So that's been the key, or that has been the biggest risk for me. And, or should I say, not risk, it's been the biggest learning curve, is trying to work out which is the right path, which is the right place to put the camera. And that has been, I think that's a skill set that's so important for this device. Yeah. And yes, like everybody else, I have put this camera in places and expected something to happen, and I come back home with a big fat zero. Yeah, it has happened, it will continue to happen, but I must say that over the past few years, it's been a lesser issue than it was when I started off.
It's the fun of the chase.
Exactly, and that's the excitement that wants me to keep doing it and doing it and doing it again. Yeah.
Have you damaged any equipment? Not you, have any of the animals damaged the equipment?
Thankfully, no. Yeah. It's all down to making sure that the box you make is apt to the task or apt to the subject you're photographing. I'm currently working on a box where I want to put the camera underwater or halfway on the water's level to try and get something going with that. It's still in thought. It's I had a test over the weekend, but no animal came to it because there was so much rain. Nothing wanted to come to the water holes because now they've got water everywhere because it's just rained. You know, a little hole in the road and there's water. They'll drink from that. Yeah, so I'm going to.
So it's not for a big drinking pond then. It's just for a small.
The camera has been designed for obviously a bigger drinking pond because I don't want it to be visual. I want it to blend into the environment. And that's where the key, or that's what I've been trying to do. But because it's been raining, there's little drinking ponds everywhere. And then the animals don't come to the big one. They go to whichever one the closest is to them. So it's not managed to get any great shots or any working shots out of it. But, you know, if I give up, I'd probably never get even 5% of what I get. So a lot of it is because of persistence and trying and trying and trying.
Well, here's a question that I always ask everybody I interview, but I'm going to ask you it now. I normally ask at the end of the video. You're painting such a fantastic story. Why don't you video it and put this out on YouTube? Or these are the secret bits that you don't want people to know? Because this is so fascinating. I imagine that you would have a massive amount of people wanting to watch everything that you've just said right now.
Yes, I'm a one-man show, and trying to photograph and trying to video and trying to drive the vehicle and trying to work up the spot, it's overwhelming. So yeah, if any videographer out there wants to come out and make a video of me at work, welcome.
I got a minute. You know I film, don't you? You know I take videos. That's what I do.
Welcome,
right. Okay.
Welcome. Yeah.
Without any further ado, then let's get into these damn pictures. Talk me through some of these pictures. That lion. Let's start off with that lion. Let's start off with no. Tell you what. Let's start off with the very first picture, because I love the zebras, and that one there with the drama, with the everything's in focus, and there's two animals running in different directions. Probably you could see the fear in their eyes, and wow, what a fantastic capture!
This was, again, you know, every time, or should I say, a different subject, a different approach. I'd been trying to approach zebras for years and no success whatsoever. And then I went to a fiberglass shop, and I said to the guy, I said, hey, look, this is my camera, this is my housing around it, make it look like a rock.
Right.
And he went and did all the work and painted it grey and made it look like a rock. Beautiful. But with the way he made it, the housing, or should I say, when I took a photo, half of the fiberglass was in the photo. So I had to readapt the whole housing again, or should I say we had to readapt the whole thing now to make it work for that housing. And on that one I still used to use a D4S, and I'd actually mounted it upside down in the box. So I'd take photos upside down and then turn them around, whereas I could have taken them straight in all the other housings. And we set it up for zebras a couple of times, no luck. And this particular day there was all these rocks, and the zebras were walking through the rocks and across. And I took my chance and I went and set it up down there. And behold, the zebras walked right up to it. So the first zebra came, sniffed it, and just as it was sniffing it, I released my first 5 shutters, because you take the opportunity of, you're going to click and you're going to hold it clicking. And that's where everything just went, whoop, what the hell was that?
So it's your camera that's actually scared the animals there then?
It's the noise of the shutter. They managed to come up to the camera and sniff it, but but the first shutter that went off is where this happened.
Wow.
And from the first shutter to the fifth shutter is the shot you've seen, or the third or fourth shutter. So I had, again, you know, I talk about this quite high, you know, heavily on the other shots as well. It's literally maybe 3 seconds from the start of this scene to the finish of it. You imagine, you know, somebody startles you. You know, somebody's hiding behind the door, you walk through the door and someone goes, boo! You know what I mean? Or the camera just starts clicking away, and it's not a sound that you're used to. You get a boo, and literally it's only going to last 2 or 3 seconds before you realize, oh, it's nothing important. And that's what happens. It's just, and then it's nothing important, and just walk off. It's not a predator. It's nothing that we should be worried about.
Sure.
Yeah. And
sure.
This is where the Z7, as I said, you know, I keep talking about it. I know Nikon are listening. Hopefully they are. Yeah. And the Z7, the mirrorless, the electronic shutter has really changed things for me, because I was always been trying to photograph a serval, which isn't on my website. Probably inbox that to you so you can share it with the guys. I had this serval, or we've been trying servals for a long time as well, and with the Z7, with the new box that looks like just green grass, we got it where we thought the serval would cross. The serval did come, it came, it sniffed, I was shooting away. I've got all the shots of, where's this sound coming from? And then it just walks off casually, calmly, not a little even, I don't even assume a skipped heartbeat. And I'm really pleased with that, you know. It has been development, this has been going on for maybe about 2 years, 2.5 years in development, from the initial box from the initial rhinos to let's go and try elephants, to how we're going to keep it safe for lions. Because the risk with lions is they'll pick it up and take it away, and then they'll go biting everywhere. I've got shots of this box being bit by lions. Yeah. But the one thing that I'm always cautious about is I don't want any sharp edges. I don't want it to be into a position where an animal could injure itself with that box. And if something like that happens, I will not ever forgive myself, and I will stop it. Because I'll make sure that, yeah, it has to, you know, we're going into their area to photograph them, and if we're going there to injure them, it's not what I meant to. I will stop it that very day.
Yeah, I can feel and sense the passion that you're showing towards your art, which is brilliant. Right, now, you'll have to stop me now, because I can ask questions about every one of these pictures because they're breathtaking. But do me a favor, just pick out a few that mean a lot to you, or will mean something to you, or maybe it has a backstory attached.
There's a photo halfway in between, small portrait photo of an elephant looking down at the camera. Yeah, and every time that has happened, it's always been the elephants came, sniffed, and then they just, one guy picks it up. I've had one where I've not got the shot, but I've got the shadow of it, where elephant picked it up, gave it a taste, didn't like it, chucked it on the floor, and then all the rest of them just came and kicked and kicked and kicked, and it rolled and it rolled and it rolled. And at some point where it stopped, one elephant probably came over to have a look, and that's that shot where it came over and it had a look. And I've got a shot of an elephant above.
Wow, testament to the camera to survive that. I can see, just breathtaking. What about the almost the standout picture for me, which is really difficult? You've got a picture of an elephant, a lovely black and white picture of a single elephant and the most amazing sky. Talk to me about, yeah, black and white. It's halfway down on the left-hand side. You can't miss it.
Yeah, those were the old days where I was using a monopod.
Right,
and so I'd take the monopod out of the vehicle, put it down on the ground, very close to the vehicle, and then I would shoot with the monopod upwards. So that would still be the 2470. The D850 was the camera that made me start, or helped me start that, because you have that flip screen on it. So I'd flip the screen, I'd drop it down with a monopod, I'd compose the picture or pre-choose the focus point, and then with a wireless remote I'd just shoot away, maneuvering the camera with the monopod to try and get it all right. And that's, I think, you know, when I started getting those low-level ground shots, it completely changed the way I decided to do my photography. And that's what pushed me to making these devices, to try and get closer, to try and get something different, to try and really push the boundary on what I want to be, because I want to be different out there. You know, I don't think there's still many people in the world, one, who do this sort of photography, and two, who have the images that I have. Yeah.
You can say that again.
Yeah.
Gooch, pretty much the second row from the bottom, you've got, again, lovely shot of the two lions just there. Again, love that composition. Think it's beautiful with the sky that's in there. And that blows it away for me, because most people would take a picture and, like I say, the instant reaction is to get your 600mm lens out there, which would probably make a nice picture anyway. But I just love the fact that you've caught that almost like as if it's a portrait of the lions in their own environment. And I just love that.
Yeah, again, same sort of, this was my first test. I think that was the first time I tried it, really. You know, I had a pre-trial, it didn't work, I scrapped the idea, let this idea dwindle for 2 years. Then the D850 came out, I saw the flip screen, I saw the megapixels on it, I said, okay, this is one camera, I'm going to give it a try for sure. And then put it up on a monopod, or put it and dropped it down. I tried it with this male and female who are just chilling out, and the result is out there. And I've never looked back after that shot. It's just been an uphill, it's just been an uphill going forward.
You really have to lead this, because otherwise it'll drive me mad, and it'll drive the viewers mad, because I'm going to ask you about every picture you've taken. You've got a picture there which I think is pretty cool, of there's just whiskers, and it's a standout picture because it's not like any other picture on your website. There must be a story attached to that, and that's why that's there.
Again, you know, this was, as I said, development from one to the next. I think this was probably about a year in, and we got across, we saw this lioness walking towards she was kind of going up the hill, and I seized my moment, went and dropped the camera out, prepared it, set it up, made sure the lioness never saw me, because I always take it out from the other side of the vehicle, so you kind of use the vehicle as your cover. And we dropped it down, and then we drove off. And the lioness, you know, the guess was that there's two paths on the road, and you know, like when the left wheels and the right wheel. So we put it up on the left wheel, and the lioness decided to walk on the right wheel. So I'd have missed the shot. But this is where cats really come in. And as the lioness came closer and closer, and I knew that I've missed the shot because she's just going to walk besides the camera and walk off, I left off a couple of shutters, you know, just top. And she stopped, and she looked at the camera, and she changed her direction, and she went to the camera, and she came, she sniffed, she gave it a lick, didn't taste good, I assume, and she just left it and walked off.
Oh, so you've got on your website, you've got 3 pictures. Are they all the same lioness? Is that the series of shots? Because you've got a terrific picture above the one with the whiskers, with the one cat looking with the other cat between its legs in the distance.
That's totally different one, Nairobi National Park. That's totally different, yeah. So the two in the same sequence are literally as they are. You've got the whiskers, and then you've got that lioness just before it on the row above, walking on the right. With, you know, that intent. Walking with intent. And then you've got that one which is Nairobi National Park, actually, where you've got the lioness across and one lion walking between its legs. You can't see it because of the horizon in the back, but there's a second cat between the other legs on the right hand side. There's a second cat down there. Yeah.
That's ridiculous. I mean, you must have, you got home and put that into Lightroom, and you made that bigger on the screen, and then you realise that you've got those. Honestly, it's as if you photoshopped them in. You couldn't have got them any more perfect if you tried. I know you haven't, but that is just brilliant. Absolutely. That must just go, yes.
Oh, look what I've got.
Competition winner.
It wears out after a few minutes, you know, like, yes, I got it, you prepare the shot, you share it, and that's, I need to find a new shot now. You know what I mean? It just, okay, done, next. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But
Sure.
it is for a minute. I mean, if you go higher up, there's a zebra across with dramatic skies and the rays of light popping through.
Yeah.
Yeah, and on this particular day, I was testing out a new trigger which would have worked about 1 kilometer away. So I set the camera up, hoped that the zebras would cross on this road where they're walking. And if you zoom on that shot, you can see my vehicle under the tummy of the zebra, far in the distance, maybe about 3 millimeter, 4 millimeter big.
I see it, a little white one. It looks white in the picture.
Yeah, it's a silver Land Rover, it's a silver Defender, and that's me there. I sat with binoculars and I just sat there waiting. Is this the moment? Is this the moment? And this is the shot that I waited for.
So let me get this right. You mean to tell me that this is the craziest selfie that anybody could ever have taken?
Yes.
Did you honestly purposefully walk the camera, not necessarily walk it, obviously bear in mind where you are, but drop that camera off and aim back towards where you knew you were going to be to take a selfie?
I set the camera up and put it in the direction that I thought would have worked. And I sort of set it up and I waited not too far away, and the animals wouldn't move because they could see my vehicle and they weren't interested in coming into that direction because they don't want to approach the vehicle. So I decided to go further and I decided to go further and I decided to go further. Then something else caught my attention. I decided to ponder on with that while these guys couldn't care about my camera or me. So then I went on to the other side and they started moving. And when they started moving, I just parked the vehicle, got the binoculars out, and I said, I need to find the right moment when I want to press the trigger. And behold, that the right moment was with me in it at the same time as the zebra. No, I didn't imagine this shot. It was sheer luck.
Is you in the background? Oh, honestly, I could just go on and on. But do you have a favourite picture? Do you have a favourite picture?
I have, if you call a favourite, there's only one picture to date that I have printed in my house. It's just the single one picture on the wall. I don't have anything else, to be honest with you. And just for the viewers at home, I'm going to turn the camera around and there's the photo. That is the only one photo I've got in my little play TV sort of room with my iMac sitting here. This is the only picture I have printed out. However, saying that, recently I've had a few more pictures that I've put up in my office. Every director's office has a nice little print of two aerial shots and one of, if you go on the ground level, there should be a shot of just a zebra, sorry, not a zebra, oh wow, I don't have it here. I'll send you a copy of that as well. It is a rhino that was ground level and all you see is the horn and half the face. So I'll share that photo with you as well.
Wow, absolutely fantastic. Okay, I'm very surprised by that. I can imagine your whole house being devoid of paint and wallpaper because of all these pictures printed everywhere.
No, I'm very much of all white and dark wood on the wood part, and that's it. Yeah, a couple of family pictures and that's it.
Okay, let's talk about competitions.
Yes.
Can you share with me any pictures that you've entered into competition that's done well, just or maybe one or two that you like?
There is on one of my on wildlife photography. You spoke about it on part one as well. Is you've got these 5 giraffes.
Yes.
With 2/3 sky, with some cloud cover in black and white. And on that particular shot, if you look carefully at that shot, is every giraffe was traveling in a different direction.
Yes.
And it just so happened that moment they all came in that very sort of balanced view, and I even called the shot balanced. So I did get into the finals, but I didn't win on that. the old Nikon shots that I did win with, unfortunately I lost a hard drive and I don't have any of those photos in good quality.
Oh.
But, you know, I also look at it in the positive side of life is where that was probably the driver for me to go out and get everything again and get even better at it. So yeah, I have, yes, I lost the hard drive, but look at the content I have now versus the content I had. It's a completely different ballgame. I'm probably happy, or I don't mind I lost the hard drive. Yeah, I lost a lot of work, which is where it hurts. But look at the content I have now. It's far beyond the content I had then. No complaints.
Wow, fantastic. Where can people see your work apart from the obvious website? I'll put all the information down below, by the way, but you mentioned about a Facebook group. Is it a public Facebook group? Can anybody enter it or anybody see it?
No, it's not a Facebook group. It's my personal Facebook profile. It still goes under my name. It's open to anybody to view, and you can still follow me on it. I have 5,000 friends, so I can't have any more. So you can follow me on Facebook. Instagram's there at my first name, so it's at Gurcharan. And hey, most welcome. I would really appreciate you follow. Thank you. Yeah.
I'll put all the links down below. And one last question, if I may. Do you probably another dumb question? Do you sell your pictures?
Yes. At the moment, there hasn't been a full website e-commerce setup where you can choose, pay, get it delivered. So we don't have that set up at the moment. This is a follow-on from this. Yes, we are going to try and set up a UK print house and a UK website where you can go purchase. We are also looking at corporate environments where you probably just want to rent a print, and you can keep moving it around every month, every 2 months, every week, every day if you want to. Or if you have an event that you're going to cover and you want to put up a couple of photos, make a place beautiful, that can also be looked at. Once the details are up and running, I'll share on my social media, I'll share on my website, and yes, I'll keep you in touch into it as well, and we'll share all this information with you guys. And
Perfect.
At the same time, I think there's a little top secret, well, I'll reveal it now, is we might have a little competition which will be, why don't you come and spend a couple of days with me in the Mara? We'll cover all the costs for the Mara. You just need to make sure you get into the Mara.
Is that with us? Is that with us? Is that a winner comes and spends some time with us, Gooch?
So sorry. I've got another part of this. Yeah, of course. I'd love to have you, brother.
You've got to bring me in.
Yeah. So we were going to do a little workshop going on here. One sort of landscape workshop with wildlife and all put together, and let's see what we can do with it.
Perfect. Well, you keep me informed with that, and I'll fill everybody in on my usual social media websites and so on and so forth. Right. I normally finish the interview with a lot of dumb questions. I'm not going to spoil this interview because I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I think your work is tremendous, and you're such a down-to-earth guy and such a passionate guy about your art. And long may that continue, and may our paths cross in the very near future.
Hey, please. You guys out there, if you want to come to the Mara, get in touch with me. I'm happy to answer questions. I'm happy to give you suggestions on where to go. Same with you. You know, I'll let you know of my free time, and let's make a trip. I'd love that, and come and see this beautiful part of the world that's called the Mara and Kenya.
That's a date in my diary now. It's there. Brilliant. Listen, thank you very much indeed for your time, and with everything that's going on in the world, you make sure you stay safe, and hopefully you can get back out there with your camera and do what you do very well.
Thank you.
Cheers.
And you guys too. Please stay safe.
Cheers. Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers. Bye.